Welcome to the Champagne Diamonds podcast. I am your host, Nadine Russell, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today. This podcast was created for queens, women who are ready to step into their power, women who are looking towards their vision and embracing the journey along the way. Women who are ready to be unapologetic about being their authentic selves. If this is you, keep listening. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Champagne Diamonds podcast. In this episode, we are going to be talking about something that many creatives especially loathe. And this topic is all about copying. A few years ago, I posted a video on YouTube that talks about the difference between inspiration and imitation. I strongly believe that it's so important for everyone to be true to themselves, to create from a place of love for what they do, to create from a place of truth, to create from a place of authenticity. But let's face it, there's even a scripture in the Bible that says there is nothing new under the sun. Although we do get intuitively creative ideas that come to us sometimes at the most random times, a lot of times we're not the only ones that are getting those ideas or similar ideas. As a matter of fact, I read a book by Elizabeth Gilbert called Big Magic, where it shared how she had gotten an idea to do something and she didn't execute on it. When she connected with someone else, she found out that they had the exact same idea, pretty much, that she had about a book that she had wanted to read or write, sorry. Now, here's the thing. This happens all the time. I know it's happened to me. I've had ideas and I've sat on them for far too long, only to be scrolling through my Instagram feed and realize that somebody else beat me to the punch. It happens to all of us. But you know what else happens? Imitation. A lot of times there are people who are so inspired by the things that we create that they decide to take it a little bit further, take it one step further. And instead of being inspired and creating something in their own style with their own pizzazz, they literally copy everything that you have created. So I want to, first of all, let you know that it's not the end of the world if this is something that you have faced. And there are a lot of different things that you can do to prevent this from happening, which we can definitely tackle in another episode. But one thing that I definitely want you to consider is trying to see how you can take your power back in the situation. And one of the ways that I think is amazing to do this is to recognize that when you see people trying to imitate you, know that you are an original. There is only one you. You hold the blueprint, and there is nothing that is going to allow someone's copying to put them ahead of you. It's just not possible, because when you hold the blueprint, you are the one that takes the first step. Whoever's copying you has to wait for you to make the next move. This also lets you know that you are a thought leader. This lets you know that your ideas and the things that come to your mind are so inspiring that other people feel the need to replicate it. Let's look at all the popular mega brands out there that people constantly imitate. So, truth be told, you could really take it as a compliment, because nobody is going to copy something that isn't super fly. No one is going to copy something that they think is terrible. So the fact that you have people copying you lets you know that what you're doing is amazing. So there's many things to consider, like how can you raise your prices? How can you get yourself out there more? And one last thing that I want to speak on before we wrap up this episode is when it comes to imitation, it is so important to recognize that once you have stepped into your power, once you have decided to take an idea and turn it into something tangible, you are giving other people permission to do the same. I know on my journey, when I decided to shift into becoming a women's empowerment mentor, that I noticed a lot of women that I had connected with previously step into their power and start their own coaching businesses. When I decided that I had wanted to start my beauty brand, there were other women that came to me and let me know that I inspired them to start their beauty brand. So if nothing else, definitely recognize that when you see people doing the things that you are doing, don't look at it as competition. Don't look at it in a way to be upset or salty about. Look at it to say, wow, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I had the faith to step into my power, to trust myself and start living my dreams. And because of that, I have inspired somebody else to do the same. I would love to know your feedback on this topic. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Otherwise, definitely reach out to me on other social media networks like Twitter or on Instagram at Entice the Brand. You can also visit my website, www.enticethebrand.com. I hope you found this episode insightful. Definitely go ahead and leave a review. It definitely helps me. Thank you so much again, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Champagne Diamonds. I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.